You're listening to A Virtual Review, the podcast about a variety of topics, including technology, entertainment, home improvement, staying healthy, and holiday lighting. Welcome, everyone. My name is Kevin.
My name is Matt.
Today we're talking about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the first episode, and the Oculus Quest 2 review. So, what'd you think about it, Matt?
I tell you what, I tell you what, the Falcon and Winter Soldier episode 1, I was pretty blown away, especially coming off of WandaVision.
Yes.
This felt more like an MCU movie and not like a TV show.
Right, just a little slight diversion from what they're usually doing. So it's almost like Iron Man-ish, from the first one with those fight battles.
Yeah, we had that great intro with Sam, right? We had a little flashback with Steve passing the shield to Sam.
Sam, right?
Yeah, and so that was kind of cool to tip it off with Captain America.
Right, right. Now, is the shield a little different? Am I noticing that, or is that something I'm just blind to?
You are, yeah. The
Okay.
shield is different, but it's the same from Endgame. The shield that Cap gave Sam was that shield. It had the little fillets in it and the little notches.
Okay. I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it is a different shield from when Cap comes back from wherever he went.
But Sam hasn't had it changed.
No.
Okay.
It wasn't changed for the TV show.
Okay.
It is the same shield from Endgame. So something happened in that timeline where he got a different shield.
Right.
Now, is it going to have other abilities because Cap knows that Sam doesn't have the super soldier serum and things like that? Who knows?
Okay.
Who knows, right?
Right.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, so we just that little brief moment of the look back, and it looks like he's preparing for a funeral, basically, which I guess in one way it sort of was. And then, we get that
it was kind of a memorial, yeah.
Right. Temporary memorial for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So then we get that first battle, and it's clear that Sam is a government contractor,
right?
And it's to make sure we don't go into Libya and make it discreet. Like, come on.
Yeah, no, that's not
gonna
go
discreet.
Yeah, we get this LAF, which we don't know much about, but
right.
We know that they're a terrorist group and they've captured this intel.
They've captured a soldier.
The liaison, Vasant.
Yeah,
the liaison, the Captain Vasant.
Yeah,
but So and then Falcon does his thing,
and we see a familiar face. I couldn't remember his name, but I remember.
Yeah,
that guy is a sucker. Yeah, the guy is a sucker for being in the beginning of a of a Marvel movie.
Hey man, yeah. Anytime George St. Pierre comes on screen, a fight is going to happen.
Right.
So that was great seeing him. I really did enjoy that scene from Winter Soldier, from Cap 2 with Cap and Batroc, the Leaper, just fighting each other. But that was a great time. But this time here, he's fighting Falcon, and man, he didn't let us down. He did some sweet moves, and of course, Falcon has some great moves too.
That squirrel suit, man. He's got that down. He just freaking leaps out of or flying squirrel suit. He leaps out of that out of those helicopters and without fear, and just flies around and
I was surprised even in when they were getting lined up for this mission, the soldier lining up Sam for his review. He said on the screen you could actually read that these guys were, quote, para specialist wingsuit advanced tech. So that was kind of cool. They even like set it up for us.
Oh, okay. Was that in the airplane
Yeah,
that
that
they
was
were
in the
showing?
airplane
Okay, okay,
on
I
that
missed
green
that.
screen there.
I
And
was just too giddy with new Marvel content.
me too. So that was it was kind of cool. They got the wingsuit, and then they've got Sam in his wingsuit. So you got a little bunch of aerial combat.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
I did. Did you think it was a little over the top, or I mean, I was expecting something a little more grounded, but
Yeah, I gotta say the thing that Sam did at the end of that battle to rescue the soldier of flying through the helicopter that's moving through the air. I thought that was a little Fast and Furious ish,
yeah, that's a good
race.
term for it.
It's
Yeah,
it's like leaping across the highway to another lane on the other side. It's a
yeah,
similar type of thing. Like, okay, come on now.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Well, the only thing that really bothered me was the guys in the wingsuits were able to fly into the helicopter and just kind of.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, that seems really smooth to me.
Yeah, I mean, I just chalked it up to comic book movie,
Right.
so
Right.
and I just went with it.
Yeah. Well,
So
it kind of goes along with I just my wife just sent me a TikTok this morning with Stan Lee, and I'm sure obviously it's an old recording, but
mm.
he's recorded saying, he's tired of people asking him I'm tired of people asking me who do I think would win between these two people. Says, you know what the obvious easy answer is? Whoever I want to, because I'm the writer.
Very good point.
If I want this person to win, they win. So if I want them to fly and land in a helicopter, they're going to fly and land in a helicopter.
Very good point. Yeah,
I was like,
that's true.
He's not wrong.
No, yeah, Spellman got his way for sure.
Right.
But and we get the boots on the ground guy who is Torres,
Yes.
and he's quite the fanboy of Sam. I mean, he's jumping up and down and
Right.
celebrating like it's like he scored the winning touchdown.
Right. Well, he did the hero thing and entered didn't get into the Libyan airspace, which
Yeah.
I think if I was if I was Sam, like if I fly into the airspace, I fly into the airspace. I'll come right back. I'm little. They're not going to detect me. Whatever.
No, yeah. I mean, he won't care, but
The whole
he's
thing
getting
was,
paid.
we got to get them. We got to get them back before they enter the airspace.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I guess they set up the rules to add some suspense, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I guess if he wants to continue being a government contractor, he has to
That's a
follow
good
some
point.
rules.
Yeah, that's a good point because if he does screw it up, maybe he doesn't go on future missions for
Right.
the Air Force,
Right. And right.
loses gig.
I found it funny that after that battle and everything, and they rescue the guy, and they're back in what is it, Tunisia?
Yeah, Tunisia.
And they're sitting at the table, and this
Yes.
guy says, "Oh, you should reroute it here." He says, "Man,
Yeah.
every time the Air Force does something with my tech, it glitches out."
For sure. Yeah, don't touch my toys.
Right. It's like you trying to change something Stark made. It's like, oh no.
Yeah, yeah. So, but getting to that though, getting to Tunisia, we find out Sam's got some skills. He is working on Red Wing. He's working on
Right.
he knows Arabic, and he's got some. We're getting to know Sam a little bit better. Torres brings up the enemy of, I think is the main enemy, the flag smashers in Tunisia.
Yeah, and he's using the cell phone to find the hand stamp on the wall.
Yeah. Yep, the
Yeah.
augmented Pokemon spot.
Right. That's a great analogy.
Yeah. Which was kind of cool. I thought it was neat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something different. And
Right.
he's been reading up on the manifestos and the they basically want unified a unified world without borders.
Right.
And he's saying these guys are more dangerous than LAF. And that kind of kicks off their little partnership. Hey, you keep an eye on the chatter of these flag smashers and let me
Right.
know what's up.
Yeah.
What did you think of Torres?
I liked him. I thought he was a little uh eager to jump at the gun with when he met up with those other flag smashers and Drew was gone. I thought, if you're trying to get in with these guys, I mean, I know the whole point is to get the video and the evidence of them, but I thought it was a little early to draw the gun. But I like his attitude and
Yeah,
good member to the show.
right. He had some. He's kind of a fanboy at the same time, but he's eager to break up the enemy there.
Right.
But so after that we get to the ceremony at the Smithsonian, and Sam gives up the mantle. He gives up the mantle to, I don't know, the Smithsonian. He puts the shield in the
Right.
Smithsonian.
Yeah, because he said it doesn't belong to him. It belongs to, Steve.
Yeah, it's not his. Yeah, and then we get a little chat with Rhodey, which was cool.
Yeah.
Always like Rhodey's a great character,
Yeah, he is.
and they
Brings
kind of
brings a good realism to the world a little bit, I think.
for sure, and he's also military, so that kind of gives him that little link though there,
Yeah.
and they kind of chat about dealing with the blip and so that was a cool little combo. But then we get to Bucky, right?
Right.
Bucky, all of a sudden, it's the Winter Soldier, and
Right. Yeah.
yeah, and he's taking down, he's doing his thing,
right. mindless killing and
yeah,
that was pretty cool to see him do his combat stuff and take out the target and everyone else with it.
right, yeah. So he does his thing, and at the end there, you see him shoot that Asian guy, and you're like, man,
Well,
that
I think you assume don't you have to assume that he shot him because he points the gun at him, but then he wakes up from his nightmare.
Yeah, he shot him.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, we know that later, but at the time, it's like did he shoot him or didn't he? And I mean, pretty soon after that, we find out that he did.
Yeah, I figured that he did, and then he wakes up and you find out it was a nightmare, and he's sleeping on the floor.
Right.
He's trying to deal with civilian life, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he has his interview, his psychological evaluation with Dr. Rayner. I don't know if you ever watched Bosch, but she was in Bosch. She was great.
No, I've never heard of it.
Yeah, she was really good in Bosch, and
Okay.
she kind of the great part to me was like, oh, the Notebook, really? You're pulling out the Notebook.
And I've talked to you long enough to know when you're lying.
Yeah.
And it's, you're going to start writing? Well, I do that when you don't talk.
That's a good point. It seems like they've had this little relationship, so they've been doing this a while. I guess it has been 6 months, right?
Right.
Since Endgame.
Yeah.
So maybe he's been doing it for 6 months. But
yeah.
So we get a look at his book of amends.
Right. Yep. All the names.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like that he's trying to right his wrongs.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he's probably got a lot of he's got the red in his ledger that he's trying to get rid of.
Good. Well said.
Nice little Black Widow reference there.
Yes. So he takes out, he goes to Mr. Nakajima, and they go out to lunch at that Japanese restaurant, and I thought my first thought was, this guy is old, and so is Bucky. I thought
Right.
he's like relating to this older gentleman because he's old too. They're probably talking about
Well,
the
yeah.
same kind of things.
When when the bartender asks him, "Well, how old are you?" 104 or 107 or whatever it
Yeah.
was, and it was ha ha ha. It just, I
He's
wasn't
like,
joking, but okay.
yeah, that was great, man. There was a lot of. I
Yeah,
predict a lot of old man jokes, but
yeah.
I actually did like. I thought, man, this is a cool little friendship he's got going with Mr. Nakajima, and come to find out, but we don't really know yet why that's there because we cut to Sam in Louisiana,
Right,
and we find out that his family has a seafood business
right.
with his sister
That's yeah,
Sarah, and so we get a bit more deep background there on Sam and what his family life is like.
yeah. Bit of a struggle with the family business for a while.
Yeah,
Clearly,
the 5 years he was gone.
yeah.
His little side effort, I guess, that he's dealing with. Like Bucky's got his list of amends, and then
And Sam's trying to
Sam,
help his family get back, his family business get back in, in good and profitable.
yes, yep, he doesn't want to give up the tradition of the family business. He wants to
Right.
keep the family business going to kind of
Yeah.
keep that tradition, which,
Yeah, because his sister wants to sell the boat and take what she can get out of it and
mm-hmm,
be done.
mm-hmm, start
Yeah.
something new. But
Right.
Sam's not giving up, man.
Yeah. They go and they go to the bank and I
Yeah.
love the fact that it's the bank teller was or the loan officer was more obsessed with the guy being an Avenger than anything else and I see you haven't had income for the last 5 years. Well, gee, yeah, I wonder why. And that was,
Yeah.
well, we appreciate you, but we don't appreciate you that much. It's like, oh, thanks.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think those are great. He seems so comfortable. He's just very. I mean, he reminds me of Will Smith, where he can do comedy and action, and
yeah,
he's just very smooth. He's just he's a great actor.
right,
He just does that flawless comedy and action at the same time.
right.
But
Yeah, so he's great. I'm looking forward to seeing more of him in this show, obviously, and yeah, he seems like he's got a lot more to contribute to this to the MCU stories.
right, yeah, I mean, you see him struggle. He's got his own struggles. I mean, private military contractors make good money, man. I really
Oh
don't.
yeah,
I don't understand why my man can't get a loan, but it's like I don't get it, but I understand that he doesn't have this past of
yeah.
income checks. He
Well,
probably
it's a
got
thing of we would give money, but now everyone's come back and everyone wants money. It's like, well, yeah, but can't you make an exception for a freaking Avenger?
right. Yeah.
If anyone should get one.
Yeah. I don't know, and his sister won't take money from him, but
Yeah. Yeah.
honestly, the only really problem I had with that was his sister wouldn't let her sons play video games, and that really bummed me out. And of course, the kids are like, "Sure, mom. 3, 2, 1, we're gone."
Let's go.
I was like, "Yeah, boys, get after it." I was like, "Man,
This
man,
mom's harsh.
yeah,
I thought I was
ball buster,
harsh.
man." Kids aren't having it though.
Well, I mean that's what you do though, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
Mom's gone, we can do what we want.
right. Exactly. I'm glad they kept that in there.
Yeah, yeah.
But so then we get to the Torres scene where he's at this meetup in Switzerland at the Gazelle Bank, and
Yeah.
we get our first glimpse of Erin Kellerman. Her signature hairdo is kind of sticking out of her mask there,
Yeah.
and I really loved her in Solo as Enfys Nest, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what she's going to do in this. And I was hoping we get more of her, but no no go
Well,
there.
from the trailers that from the 5 trailers that are mostly recycled footage,
Right.
we're clearly going to see more of her.
Yeah, yeah, she's great. So Torres puts on the mask, and chaos ensues because this meta jumps out of the top story of this
Yeah.
window with 2 big bags, and I eh,
Yeah,
I
he
don't
starts
really
fighting people, and it's like very Captain America ish,
yeah.
where he hits them and they go flying across, 20 feet.
Mm-hmm. And I think that was a guy named Dovich.
Okay.
Looking at IMDb, a guy named Dovich. He's obviously got powers of some kind.
Right. Some kind of super soldier
Mm-hmm.
powers or
Yeah.
super strength.
Yeah. I thought Torres was dead. He's alive. I don't know why he tried to get closer to Dovich with his gun.
Right.
I would think
Like, freeze.
yeah, step closer, step closer. It's like, man, you got a gun, just,
If you want to
stay
take
back.
care of this.
Yeah, you don't need to be 2 feet from the guy to shoot him. But he made that mistake. I guess he'll learn from that. And they talk, Torres and Sam, and that's kind of it. Then we go back to Sam, and he's in a bedroom at his old house, or his sister's house, I imagine. And we get the news that there's a new Captain America.
Right.
And
yeah. Wait to let the shield cool down for all of 5 seconds.
Yeah. No
but
kidding.
I think we all knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, I didn't know what they're going to call him. I think it's U.S. agent.
Yeah, that's everything. Everything that I've read has been U.S. agent.
Okay. I mean, the dude just cringed. I mean, from the get though, he winks at the camera, and I just cringe. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh man! Not only do I hate this guy, now I really hate this guy.
Right. Well, that was the sort of stuff that they wanted Steve to do, in the very beginning, and he didn't really want to do it, but they made him do it, and he had to. He just it just became repetition. But this guy comes out and like, hey.
Mm-hmm. And he does have I thought he had a gun on his.
He did. He does.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. You did see that correctly.
So I don't know what we're gonna do. What's gonna happen after that? I was kind of disappointed that we didn't see Sam and Bucky talking like together, but it looks like Sam and it looks like they're communicating through text. At least they're trying to.
Well, Sam is communicating through text to Bucky. He's just not responding.
Yeah.
But it looks. I mean, I would assume that they're going to, that they're going to join forces because Sam is going to need some help with these guys. And
you know what? I forgot to circle back to Yori and Yori Nakajima. We find out when Bucky went to see him after his date. We find out that Bucky killed Yori's son.
Right, because he didn't know how his son died. He just knew that he died, and no one was telling him anything. And we find out that he's the reason why.
He was talking to Yori, yeah.
And that it seemed like one of those obvious things that I should have gotten, and I didn't see that coming.
My daughter caught it right away. She's
really?
Like, oh, that's probably that guy's son. I'm like, really? You caught that? I did not catch that.
That's a Samantha catch when she 5 minutes into something and that's the guy right there. That's the guy. And like 99% of the time,
right.
She's dead on.
Right. Yeah. I got on that scene. I got that I thought that Bucky was going to go take out the dudes to that killed his son and figure it
Yeah,
out. I thought that
that's
was going to be like his mission.
that's exactly what I was thinking too. I thought, okay, he's this guy doesn't know how his son died. He's gonna go
Yeah.
and Bucky, he's gonna find purpose and have this mission to go find out
Mm-hmm.
who killed, and it was him.
Yeah, I
That's
thought,
the reason
yeah.
why he's hanging out with this guy and trying to take care of him is because he feels bad that he killed his son. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, ouch.
Yeah, like I thought it was I'm gonna help out my man Yori and then
Right.
bring his killers to justice, but wow. That to me that was a little twist. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
I'm sure they wanted to be like that, but
Yeah.
apparently the ladies in our life are much quicker and smarter than we are.
Well, that's nothing new.
Yeah, true. But so overall, did you enjoy it? Or are you glad?
Oh, big time. Big time
Mm.
I enjoyed it. This was,
Mhm.
this was you got you got Marvel action from almost from the get-go. Um
Mhm.
it set up a great storyline of things to come. Looking forward to seeing Helmut Zemo and
Yeah, me too.
all the chaos he's going to bring. And yeah, I really enjoyed it from the very beginning.
I was
It was nice to get not that I didn't enjoy WandaVision. Obviously, I really enjoyed WandaVision,
Mhm.
and it was kind of nice to get back to what to what Marvel is known for, is this great action and great storytelling.
Mhm.
And this, I mean, this fit the bill perfectly.
For me as well. I mean, like you and I, we like to go down these rabbit holes to have these in-depth looks into kind of characters that don't get as much recognition
Right.
as the heavy hitters on the Avengers. I love Team Cap, Cap 2. I think Cap 2 is one of your favorite movies.
Yes.
I mean, to have these guys get their due,
Right.
it's just great stuff. I love how they honored Cap in the beginning. Um, a little bit more grounded. Maybe that first opening scene with Sam not so grounded, but the rest of it's pretty grounded.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, it still is Marvel, so it's got to be a little out there.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
can't be practical and logical. It's got to have
yeah.
some craziness to it. But yeah,
Hmm.
it was certainly more grounded than WandaVision, and so it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
it's a different flavor of a show, and
Hmm.
yeah, it's I'm looking forward to the rest of them.
Yeah, it's definitely a Team Cap show. Did you? I guess my only negative was what I didn't get to see was Baron Zemo. I was really looking forward to him and seeing him. I thought they were going to kind of set him up as the big bad, and there was no big setup for Zemo. And I was kind of hoping for that because he was kind of shown as the big baddie, and he's got his purple mask and the furry collar from the comics. I mean, they've made him comic book accurate,
Yeah.
and I thought, okay, well, we're gonna know right away that it's Baron Zemo, and he's
Yeah.
gonna, but maybe he's running all the Flag Smashers, and we just don't know.
Well, I mean,
So I guess we'll
keep in
find
mind.
out.
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind that with WandaVision, we didn't get introduced to Agatha Harkness until what, like the episode 7.
Right? Yeah.
So it can be a bit of a slow setup to it, but
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's gonna come quicker than that. That we'll see him
Yeah.
sooner than that.
Yeah. Perhaps you're right there. We'll move on to, instead of talking about augmented reality of the Flag Smasher Pokemon game,
Right.
we're talking virtual reality now.
We're talking virtual reality in real world.
Yeah. So I got the Oculus Quest 2 as a gift, as you know,
Yes.
and soon after,
Like days,
okay,
wasn't
yeah,
it?
days.
We had discussions prior about it, and you had said that a friend of yours had it, and you tried it a couple times, because I had talked about it with my wife, with the Beat Saber and the different things for fitness, and the one we were looking at, I think it was $600. I don't remember the model, but it
Mm.
was around $600, and then you got the Quest 2, and so of course I'm asking you every question I can come up with, because you're a good resource now, and
I'm trying to sell it to you.
right,
And
and,
I'm
and
like,
I
Kevin,
think
you
it
need
took
this, man.
I think it took all of 6.5 days.
Yeah, if that. Yeah.
Right, and yeah, I picked it up too, and my biggest question was, the size, because they come in 64 gig and
Mm.
256 gig,
Mm-hmm.
and I was going to try to get away with the 64 gig, but I thought, if I'm going to buy this thing, and I don't, I want to have the full experience. I don't want to have to worry about how many things I put on it, and so I went with the same as yours, as the 256. And I don't know about you, but I think I've put, I don't know, 10 or 12 different games on there, and I've still got like 90% of the memory left.
Yeah, I have a ton of memory as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's, um I don't know, it keeps it open so that I can keep a lot of, we can keep a lot of games and movies and whatever we want on there. Don't have to worry about storage, because I mean that's, something like this, the last thing you want to worry about is, like, I had this struggle, and I know a lot of people have these struggles with, like, the PS4 and those
Yeah. I was
platforms,
gonna
where
bring that up too.
you're
Yeah.
you're attaching external drives so that you can store other games, and that just, that irritates me to no end, that you have to do that. And like, I almost refuse to do it, and I can only have like 3 games installed on my PlayStation at once,
Mm.
because they're so big. And so I didn't want to deal with that with this, and I'm glad I did, because I basically, I almost never have to worry about storage again,
And that was
with it.
my take too. I mean the exact same explanation. I never have space on my PS4, even though I have an external hard drive. I got games that aren't even installed. And you know what? I'm really glad my wife picked it up for me, and I'm really glad she got the 256,
Yeah.
just because it's nothing I have to worry about, you know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because I thought, if I'm gonna get this thing, I want the if I'm gonna spend the money on it, I want to spend the money on it and get the full experience, and not have to worry about, I'll there'll be other things to worry about, like the fit to your face, and the head strap, and that stupid Elite head strap.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So
So yeah, go ahead.
the I guess to start out, let's just rattle off the specs here. Do
Sure.
you want to do the honors, or would you like me to?
Go for it. I'm sure you have them up.
The the CPU is the Qualcomm Snapdragon XR2, and I put the link to the in the show notes for all the specs here, but resolution is 1832 by 1920 per lens. The refresh rate is 72 hertz up to 90 hertz. And there's a lot of discussion on that between lots of different folks.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that for now, but it's got 6 gig of memory. And like you said, we got two different options for storage, 64 gig and then the 256. Let's see, we also got the built-in speakers they call 3D positional audio.
By the way, those are amazing.
Aren't they?
I don't know how often you use the built-in speakers.
Yeah.
I've only used the built-in speakers.
Hmm.
I don't know how they do it, but but talk about an amazing engineering,
Yeah.
for sound, is. I mean, it feels like immersive sound with putting on this headset, and you wouldn't think it. You'd think the sound would be cheap coming from a headset like this, and it's
Mm-hmm.
it's actually incredible, because you feel fully submersed into the sound.
For sure. I do for if I'm just gonna watch a movie or play something real quick, I just run the built-in speakers. But for the longer, if I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna play some Walking Dead. I'm gonna put on my Sony XM3s,
Okay.
because it fits so nice over the
Yeah.
over the head strap that you love.
Okay.
Um, which, by the way, they do offer a lot of different attachments, and one of them is that Elite head strap, and they offer the Elite head strap with a battery as well, an extra battery, because the battery life is 2 to 3 hours on a full charge.
Right. Yeah, the first day that we had the Oculus, we kept running out of battery power because I mean it was the first day or two that we had it, it was on most of the day because
Mm.
one of the three of us were using it. So it was I was starting to look into the battery packs as well, but I thought, I'll give it a little time when it's not so such a new thing. And I mean while it does get used every day in my household
Yeah.
by at least two of us. Battery percentage or battery life in a day o- or during a use doesn't seem to be an issue anymore, because we
Nice.
are using it a little less, um, but yeah, so I'm glad I didn't go with it because it just for what we use it for, I play one or two games and we do the the Fit XR and the different things for the fitness. It's not an issue, and it when we're not wearing it, it sits. I bought a stand for it, and
Mm-hmm.
it sits on the stand, plugged in to the charger.
Oh, nice. I should get one of those. The Yeah, I mean, I really don't have a battery problem because I can't play a VR game 2 hours straight. I just can't. Like
Yeah,
I play like maybe maximum an hour, and so my battery, I have no problems with the battery.
I think we usually go for it's probably somewhere around 30 minutes at a time that we use it for,
Right.
um, because much more than that, and you start to lose track of your time, and it's just we know that that we need breaks, sometimes, and um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah, I think we on average use it for 30 maybe 40 minutes at a time, and that's about it.
Yeah. And the weight of it, it's not bad. It's 1.1 pounds. So that does allow you to wear it around longer. It's not very heavy.
Yeah, it's not. The one
The
thing I did the one thing I did find though is if you're using it during any of the fitness activities, to make sure that it's tightened enough,
mm,
because
mm-hmm.
one of the things that we battle with all the time is fog. And one of the theories that my wife had was if you don't tighten it so hard, that it won't fog up on you. And so I tried that the other night,
Mm-hmm.
and it started actually shaking around in my head when I was ducking and weaving, and
Oh, okay.
that's not a fun experience when you're you know when you're looking through it. So um
So this is um for a lot of people, they don't have VR, and a lot of people, this is their first experience with VR. What did you think when you first put on the headset and you went to the demo? What were your
well,
thoughts there?
and let me back it up from there a little bit. The
Mm-hmm.
first intro to VR that I ever had was buying, getting like a $20 headset
Oh,
thing
yeah.
for my phone, for my iPhone, and putting that in the slot and putting that on my head.
Yeah.
And it's an okay experience, but nothing to write home about.
No.
And the first time that I put on this Oculus Quest 2 and powered it up, just like the welcome screen, it was just like a whoa, this is
Yeah.
this is a lot different.
The graphics are pretty incredible. There's no
That,
screen door effect.
right. Yeah, they're not necessarily like a 4K
No.
resolution,
Yeah.
but for what it is, it's still pretty incredible because
It is.
all the graphics stay in place when you're moving around. Um, like that, the a problem that I had was when I was going through the intro, just learning how to use the thing, and
Yeah.
they put a table in front of you with different things to throw.
Yeah, that was
There was a
great.
couple times where I almost tried like putting my hand on the table that didn't exist.
Yeah, I
So
mean, yeah, I mean, when I put it on, it felt I didn't feel like I was standing in my room, but I felt like I was inside of a video game,
yes,
you know? It wasn't like reality, but it was I'm inside a video game.
right,
That's kind of like
exactly.
the feeling that I got.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, it's yeah, and it's very immersive.
Yeah.
The field of view is pretty is fairly wide, um, enough to where you can be pretty affected by what you're seeing and the perspective of things
Right.
while you're on it.
And speaking of that, the did you get much like I got when I first was playing, I had no problems with picking things up and throwing them and basically anything standing still, I had no problems with. But as soon as I tried to I put in that Star Wars Galaxy's Edge game, and as soon as I started to move, I got sickness, man. I got the VR sickness. I had to stop. I was like,
Yeah,
man,
I-
this is very very strange, and I had to stop, man. I took the goggles off, and it was just a bizarre feeling at first.
yeah. I don't typically get the VR sickness. The only time I've felt even close to that was on they have a roller coaster game, that where you
Mm-hmm.
feel like you're on a roller coaster. We always sit down for that one because number one, it enhances the effect, and number
Yeah.
two, you don't want to feel like you're on a roller coaster while you're standing up because you will more than likely fall over. And with that, I felt a little. I was starting to get a little nauseous.
Yeah.
But everything else, I don't seem to have a problem with.
Do
But
you play games where you're moving like a character though? I don't know if you've
yes,
gotten okay.
yes, with the
We,
I think it's called Echo VR.
oh,
That
you
you
did that. Okay.
you float around and you try to grab a disc and you try to make it through a goal, and I don't get motion sickness or I don't get VR sickness, but I do I do find that I lose my balance pretty
Mm-hmm.
easily
Mm-hmm.
because it's a you're it's basically a weightless environment that you're in and you have these thrusters on your hand or on your wrist that you zoom around the space in, and
Okay.
you can really tend to lose your bearing on what's flat. And I was just playing that yesterday, and a couple times I almost fell over because I was going down and spinning around,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd lose my bearing of my feet where, or I'd lose my footing. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right. Yeah. Because you're essentially flying.
Yeah,
But I had a hard time with it myself, and I was like, you know what? I got to do this because this is way too cool. And
yeah,
I ended up downloading that Mission ISS, which is the International Space Station game,
okay,
and playing that game, you kind of move yourself around by these handles in the space station, and it
yeah,
was a really cool experience. And I think playing that game really got me over the VR sickness and helped me
okay,
adapt to it.
yeah,
And now I'm good to go. I can move around in the shooting games on like a slow mode. I can move around no problem, and I don't have to. There's a teleport mode, which allows you to jump to certain spots, which I used at first. That really helped me just kind of enjoy the game. But then after a while, I was able to move with the joystick, move myself around, forward and backward and strafe,
yeah,
and then I could teleport also if I needed to a higher ground. So
okay,
now I can move and groove, and it's a lot of fun. So it just
okay,
took time and dedication, I guess,
yeah,
because I really wanted to do it. Because I remember my buddy Neil, he's got the first Oculus Quest,
okay,
and he had a hard time with it, and he warned me. He's like, "Man, you got to be careful. Just take it in short, short beats,
Mm-hmm.
and go for 10 minutes, and then stop, and then go for 10 more minutes, and then kind of build up a tolerance almost." And I did
Yeah.
that, and that really helped me too.
Okay.
So, and then another thing that I was worried about was the fit because I wear glasses, you wear glasses. I was
Yes.
worried about wearing glasses, wearing glasses over underneath these giant goggles,
Right.
But I was pretty impressed with the glasses frame kit. I'm running the largest frame, and I it costs like $40 extra, but I'm really glad we got it because the I've got maybe like the biggest. I got like the Clark Kent style glasses, and I have no problem fitting the headset over my glasses with this
Yeah.
frame kit. But if I wouldn't have bought the frame kit, there's no way I would have been able to play this thing.
Right. Yeah. I got the same thing because every member of my household has has glasses, and
Hmm.
um, I've actually stopped using it with glasses
Really?
because I I'm able to focus enough to where it's okay. Um, my wife was using it without for a little bit, and she had to stop doing that. But yeah, we bought the same frame, the the kit for the lenses, or
Mm, the frame kit.
frame kit. Yes, thank you. And and it's definitely a it helps out. And
Hmm.
we also I the different sizes of the face uh, cushions, we use those also because we all three of us have different size faces, and we actually found which ones work best for each person. And then I got the silicone cover that goes over
Oh, you
the
did?
the face
Okay.
cushion. um I mean, for that was for multiple reasons. That was not only for it each person has a color coded face cushion that they use,
Mm, I
but
see.
it also prevents sweat from absorbing into that.
The
And
foam.
you don't realize how much you can sweat into these things until you get one of these silicone covers. And even just casual playing, the thing
Yeah.
is wet with sweat.
So I did see a blog post on the Oculus blog that the foam was making some skin irritation for some users.
Okay.
You, how are you liking that silicone
The
face mask? I guess.
It's great because it stops the sweat, all the sweat from absorbing into that, basically that foam.
Yeah.
And you don't realize how much is absorbing into it. uh, like the first few times we used it for fitness, and we
Yeah.
noticed it was a little wet from sweat, but you don't really realize how much. And we put these things on, and for
Gotcha.
one thing, it keeps your face a little cooler because it's
Mm.
not a like a fabric material on your face, so it keeps your face a little cooler. And it also it prevents any sweat from going into it, and so it's been it's been beneficial to us big time. We don't use it without them
Right.
just because of the sweat factor, and I think it feels a little better on your face too.
Okay.
um,
And you've been using this for working out.
Yes, every day. Every day, my wife and I use this for exercising. So we
Got any
use
got any go-to games?
every day. We use Fit XR. That
Okay.
is a go to daily. It is used every day. Um, it's a combination of like Beat Saber, and there's a game called Thrill of the Fight. It's kind of a combination of those two. So
Hmm.
it's boxing, and it's where you're using the hand straps to punch objects, and sometimes you'll punch straight, you'll punch to the side. There's they give you objects to squat and duck underneath.
Mm.
And they're we they average all the different trainings from 3 minutes all the way up to, I think there's some that go an hour. an hour long,
Nice.
and we typically go for around 10 minutes, 10 minutes at moderate level, and it works you out pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Usually by the end of that, I've got I feel the sweat running down my face,
Man,
and so we use that. We do use Thrill of the Fight for it's a boxing uh, game that's pretty challenging. Even I must suck at fighting because even on the easy fighter, I can't knock him out. I usually win every time, but man, it's tough, because it's typical. It's like classic boxing, and you have to
mm-hmm.
protect your face, but you can punch the stomach and the side and the face, and it's a good workout too. And then we usually cap off our workouts with some Beat Saber
Oh, okay. And with some fun.
right, and with some fun. We usually cap it off with Beat Saber and put it on like hard level so that it's
Oh,
fast movement, and it's
yeah.
you're still moving, you're still keeping your heart rate up a little bit, but it's more fun than anything else. And yeah,
Awesome.
I mean we've used it every single day since we've had it.
That's awesome. You and you think you bought one of the music packs for Beat Saber, which Beat Saber is like one of the most popular
Yeah,
games on there.
yeah. We bought the Linkin Park music pack,
Right.
the Green Day music pack, Imagine Dragons,
Nice.
and I
You guys
think
are
that
going all
was
out.
well, that's what I told.
If you
That's
do
what
it every day, I guess you need to,
I mean,
right?
that's what I told my wife is, I got this thing. I didn't get this thing to wish I had, this downloadable pack for $10. I bought this thing to use it and to enjoy it and have fun with it. So,
Well, that's
as
funny you say that because we're looking at over 200 games, right, in the
yeah,
library. We're looking at any of a cost between $40 and $10 basically, and there's a ton of free games. Not the biggest library in the world, but it's with with the PC Link going on and the Steam VR and SideQuest VR. There's almost there's more games than you can really play. I mean,
right.
that's for sure.
There's games for everyone. I mean, it goes so far as there. Of course, there's shooting games, and there's boxing games and all
Hmm.
that. But there's also things like the like they're kind of like a haunted house game where you walk through, and there's some
Oh
jump
yeah.
scares, and we've tried a couple of them that I certainly haven't been impressed with. I mean, it's a little unnerving at first because you're going through it and you don't know what's going to happen, but
Right.
they throw the same jump scares out at you every time, and so that kind of gets a little old. But there's
Okay.
also things like if you love escape rooms, there's a game called
Right.
The Room VR, and it's a basically a solo escape room type situation. And my
Hmm.
wife loves escape rooms, and so she really got into that. And you solve puzzles and do all kinds of things. So it's not just all this active movement, and I mean those things are great, but there's all kinds of different games. There's also there's ping pong and all kinds of uh
Yeah. I mean, there's what I think is cool is they've got for if you're just getting into it, they got the standing games where you just kind of stand there and you do things with your hands,
yes,
like Beat Saber, like Super Hot, you know. And then you've got the games where you can move, like Vader Immortal and Walking Dead. These type of games I've been enjoying. So you can kind of, if you're getting this VR sickness, you can still enjoy these standing, I guess, static games where you're not moving your feet. I mean, you're not moving your feet anyways, but you don't have to move in game like a third person shooter
right,
or first person shooter. You can just stand there and things come to you where the other games like Vader Immortal and Walking Dead, you go to the objects. You have to move in the environment. So
right,
you can kind of work your way up. And even if you got someone who doesn't do well with the VR sickness, you've got these static games where you don't have to move and the things come to you, which is cool.
And some of them even offer different experiences too, because like the climb or the climb 2, I
Mm.
bought that, and you can tell it whether you are standing up, because so the climb 2 is it's where you're mountain climbing, or
Did you get that one?
you're climbing a building. Yeah, I did.
Oh,
I played with it just a little bit, and that's nice because you can tell it whether you're standing up and doing it,
mm-hmm.
or you can also just sit down. You can sit down and do it too.
Okay.
So that would help if you're getting the VR sickness too. So some of these games offer these different experiences to cater to what you want to
Right.
do.
So, and some of the other things you can do are these immersive movies and these immersive shows. I've been enjoying the concerts.
Okay.
Um, Aaron Lewis has some great 360 concerts. I mean, it feels like you're standing between him and the audience.
Okay.
And I tell you what, any of those concerts with Aaron Lewis are fantastic. A lot of them aren't great. A lot of these 360 immersive VR movies aren't the greatest graphics, but I tell you what, some of these concerts are fantastic. And I really enjoy Tested with Adam Savage. All of Adam Savage's Tested immersive movies. I mean, they must be shot just for the Quest 2. I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, it's like my man is just standing right in front of me. It's
Right.
it's it's surreal, man. It's bizarre. It's such a cool experience.
Yeah. I haven't looked at a ton of those, but I did. There was one concert I was watching that, and I don't remember. I think it was Stone Temple Pilots, where
Mm. Mhm.
they were in a small room, and the band was in a circle,
Yeah.
and the people were
Yeah.
all around him.
I saw those
And
too. Yeah.
you know, it's a weird feeling because, like, I don't I don't like a lot of attention on me. I'm just weird like that. And it feels like you're standing in the middle of the room, and it feels like every person in that room is looking at you. So it's a little
Yeah, because it's like the 360 cameras is
It
the
is,
center
yeah,
and they're
but
all
it's a li it's a
yeah.
little off-putting, like, you start to get, forget that you're in this thing, and or, that you're in the room, and
Mm.
it's like,
Mhm.
"Man, everyone's looking at me."
Yeah. I mean, like you said too, the graphics aren't like it's not like you're looking at a 4K screen at all.
Right, right,
However, it's not very fuzzy. It's pretty clear, and
right.
the 3D depth effect is what really makes it pop.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
it's amazing. It really is amazing.
Yeah, and they do a good job adapting to that too, with making things look as good as they can with that resolution.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Mhm.
the way they can keep the perspective from wherever you're at to things, it's pretty
Mhm.
incredible. It's funny anytime I've watched some things that my wife has done through my phone, through the Watchcast
Yeah,
or whatever it's called, and you're looking
that
at it, and
360. Yeah.
and she says, "Oh man, this is weird," and it's like, well, that doesn't look too weird. And then you put it on, and it's like, oh, holy cow! Okay, yeah, it's always much more immersive than what you think it is from just looking at it on your phone.
It is. Yeah. It's like the phone when you made the little cardboard cutout and then you put your phone in there.
Yes,
It
that's
was
a
cool,
yeah,
but it didn't have that. I mean, wherever you turned, right, you could see anything. However, you didn't get that depth effect.
right,
And with the Quest, with the right movie, you got to find the right movie. You got to kind of dig. And with the right movie, it's it's crazy, man. I mean,
yeah,
it blows me away.
yeah. So, and one of the things I've found that's helped us also is so some of the accessories
Mm.
that you can get with it. I couldn't stand the strings that are on the controllers.
Oh, right.
They drove us all nuts.
Yeah.
And so I found some Velcro straps that so you grip it differently, and the
Mm-hmm.
Velcro strap grows around your fingers,
Yeah,
and it's 100% improvement. You don't have to worry about always hanging on to the controller if you don't want to. You can literally open your hand, not hold anything, and the controller just stays right there.
I
So
see.
that it's so much nicer for things where you're boxing or doing something, and
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about how tight the string is, whether you're going to get good movement out of it, and
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely a plus. And I can put what I got in the show notes. But yeah, definitely
Yeah.
recommend that. Yeah, and something I didn't realize is you can easily take the strings out.
Okay.
I didn't know. I was seriously thinking about cutting them off, because when you there's
Oh,
a
I
there's a
see.
there's a hole for the strings in the grip, but I thought, but then they shake around and they hit your hands, and it's weird. But if you open up the battery cover, there's actually a little slot for the strings to pop right out.
Okay.
So that's
So
that's even nicer.
it kind of reminds me of the Wii. You know, it
Exactly. Yeah.
it didn't it the strings don't bother me too much, but I I don't do a lot of the exercise stuff. So maybe if I get into that and start enjoying cardio, I'll get those
That
straps.
nasty C word for you.
Yes. Yeah, cardio. It's a bad thing. But
Yeah.
you ended up getting a different strap because I recommended to you the Elite strap because people were saying to get a strap that tucks under your skull
Yes.
on the back. And so I ended up getting the Elite strap, and you did too, but you had
Yeah.
an issue.
Yeah. So I agree. If you're gonna buy a Quest 2, immediately order a different strap, because the strap that comes with it sucks. Not that it doesn't stay on your head, but it's very difficult to adjust. And so I got the Elite strap, and I will give it this, it was extremely comfortable. You could crank on it and get it real tight,
Mm-hmm.
and it was extremely comfortable. It didn't move, but there's a lot of people that reported that it cracks and breaks. And I thought, well, they're probably just being, mishandling it and, abusing it, or something like that. And ever since we got this thing, we've been extremely careful. We handle it with a lot of care. My wife was using it, and all of a sudden the side plastic, it cracked.
Yeah.
And by the time she got it off of her head, it broke in two. And it
Jeez.
was similar problem to what many other people uh, faced. And I think it's just either poor material that they used. Maybe the thickness of that piece needs to be a little thicker,
Mm-hmm.
or they need to make it like more similar to the strap I have now. So I bought a replacement strap.
Yeah.
It's a different brand. It's not Oculus brand. But so far so good. It hasn't broken. It's stayed. Now, granted, it is not as comfortable. It is better than
No.
what come with it, and it's got the turn knob on the back of your head to get it tight.
Okay.
Um,
That's what I like about the Elite strap is that easy turning, you know,
yes,
especially with you have different head sizes because you're switching off and on quite a bit. I'm kind
yeah,
of the only person that uses the head strap or uses the
okay,
VR, so I could probably use the elastic. That was the problem with the elastic was you had to always adjust it.
right,
But I think, like you said, with the the elite strap is easier to get off and on because of the ratcheting. But
right.
man, if it sounded like quite a few people had issues with the elite strap
Yeah,
from
and
Oculus.
yeah, and I don't know what the trick is. I mean, I don't know if we were tightening it down too hard on our heads
Hmm.
or what, but it lasted about, I don't know, about a week, or not even a week.
Yeah.
So yeah, I ordered a different head strap, and again, it's not quite as comfortable as the Elite is. Not as expensive either. But
Right.
and I was able to return the Elite strap and get a refund, and it's uh, if you're going to get one that's not the Elite, just make sure that it has that dial on the back, and it's a lot easier to tighten and adjust when if you have that dial on the back.
Yeah. I ended up getting the little plastic gun shaped grips. I haven't used them yet,
Yeah,
but they look fun. Um, so far, I'm just running the plain controller,
yeah,
and so far that's been working for me. It kind of feels like a gun, but I know for games that require you to hold both hands out like a rifle
yeah,
or a shotgun, they have this. A lot of people are making these plastic frames where you can kind of hold, because you gotta have to hold your hands out like you're holding a rifle,
right.
and so they make these plastic frames, and I'm kind of thinking I'll make myself a PVC pipe frame myself,
Okay,
but they sell these frames where you can just lock in your controllers into these frames, and it acts more like a rifle because your hands are kind of lined up because you have to line up your two sights, right? So
right.
you constantly be adjusting your left hand and your right hand, but if you've got this frame, you can just point the frame to where you want to use it. And
Yeah,
I see a lot of people are using that for the shooting type games, so
yeah. I've
maybe
seen
that's something to look at.
some of these gun accessories that they make, and I mean,
Hmm.
some of these gun accessories I think are more expensive than the actual Quest, because there's some I've seen where there's actual like kickback action on when you're firing a gun.
Oh,
And it's like, okay, that's a little bit much.
well,
it's like $500 for this thing. And it's like, you know,
well,
but and there's also vests that you can buy
yeah,
to give you the same feelings, and that's I don't know that's a little deep.
it is. I mean, then that's the cool thing is you can get as deep as you want. I mean, base
Right.
price is $299, and then if you want a haptic vest, they sell. If you want haptic feedback, whatever. I know. I mean, someday they'll come out with some kind of bodysuit, I'm sure, and
Yeah.
people can, in treadmills and things like that you see in the movies.
I've
Who
I've seen
knows?
some videos of people being strapped to basically a circular treadmill type thing,
Mm-hmm.
and that just I don't know that that seems a little crazy to me. Like
Yeah.
part of me is laughing at it, and the other part of me wants to try it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Now that you own the goggles, you're like, how far can I take this,
Right. Let's fire up the 3D printer. See what we can
Right.
make.
Yeah. Exactly. Any closing thoughts on the Quest 2? Recommended,
uh
I'm sure.
oh, if if you like video games, if you're looking also for, especially for my end, if you are looking
Mm.
for ways to exercise, and you're tired of using the treadmill or the bike or whatever, and you want something different, this is a great option. It's basically the same price as a decent treadmill or a bike, and it gives you a lot of different options. There was actually a video
Mm.
where someone was doubting how good the fitness aspect of it is. He said, it's I have a feeling it's basically like the Wii Fitness, where it was basically grandma's fitness routine,
Yeah.
and so he stepped him up from basically like ping pong to the Fit XR to Thrill of the Fight, and
Mm.
he said the ping pong was almost nothing. You could just flick your wrist and it was done. The
Right.
Fit XR, it was like a light jog, and then he did Thrill of the Fight, and I think he did like 5 rounds, and he said this kicked my butt. I'm buying one tomorrow because it was that good of a workout.
Yeah.
So there's all different there's several different games and apps you can get for it that'll help you, that'll get you moving, and like I said, my wife and I, we use it every day. It is now part of our daily fitness routine is to use the Quest 2. So it's
Awesome.
it's been a great addition, and even my wife has said, I'm so glad we got this, because it's it makes part of the workout. So being pedaling away on a bike and walking or running on a treadmill can sometimes it sucks sometimes. Well, it sucks most of the time.
Sucks
And
all
this
the time, man.
this
If you ask me.
this takes some of the suck out of the workout, because it's
Gotcha.
fun. So that's definitely recommend. 2 thumbs up, 5 stars, all that.
Same here, man.
So what's going on for next week's show?
Next week, we're going to look at Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 2, and we're going to talk about our 3D printer experience.
Oh, okay. This has been a virtual review.
Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to a virtual review. If you have questions or comments on the podcast, post them on our Facebook or Instagram page at the links below. If you like what you heard, please like, follow, subscribe, and share.